What's up, you guys? Scott Jansen, and yes, we're going back to basics today. In today's video, I want to take a really close look at your marketing message. Now, we all know as therapists and coaches, we only have a couple of seconds to get the attention of our ideal clients, especially on social media where there's so much noise, there's so many coaches, there's so much competition, there's so many therapists. It is vital that your marketing message basically encapsulates your ideal client, their pain, and the outcome they're looking for. But in saying this, I see a lot of marketing messages that are full of coaching and therapy language that are full of fluff, which I know if I was your ideal client and I was a general public client, I'd look at your marketing message and wonder what the hell you're talking about. On this video, let me cancel all the confusion. Let me take you through a quick exercise which will help you encapsulate that perfect message that will be able to get the attention of your potential clients within just seconds. Without further ado, let's dive straight in, but make sure you also like, comment, and share this video with your colleagues, your friends, anybody that's a therapist or a coach that you know is struggling with their marketing message. And like always, make sure you go into the description for a few freebies that I have in store for you. So guys, let's dive into looking at your marketing message and turn it in from something that's getting no attention to something that's absolutely killer, that's going to get the attention of all your right clients. Let's go. All right, so when thinking about your marketing message, you always want to put your perfect client, that ideal client that you're trying to attract, you want to put them at the forefront of your mind, and you almost want to step into their shoes. One big problem with a lot of therapists, a lot of coaches' marketing message, and I make this mistake too, was to talk like a therapist and to talk like a coach and to use analogies and metaphors and insights and words and sentences that only make sense to your colleagues or other therapists and coaches. So if you're not trying to attract therapists and coaches, you're not trying to attract people just like you who are educated the same way as you have to resist talking like that. You have to think of your ideal client as not being educated in the way that you are. They're not NLP practitioners. They're not therapists. They're not RTTs. They're not coaches. They're not hypnotherapists. They don't understand and use the same language that we use to explain what coaching and therapy is. And they don't understand half the time what we're talking about and the lingo, the industry lingo that we use, because they are not like us. But again, if your marketing message is talking about in a therapeutic way or a coaching way, you're only going to attract other therapists and coaches, which is pointless if your clients are not these people. So I like to use this analogy, and it's something we teach our students to do as well. And I just coined it as, what is she thinking? So we've got this lady here. We know nothing about her. We can see she's in some sort of turmoil and pain. Let's say that she's some sort of general public client. She could be a mother. She could be a sister. She could be a daughter. She could own her own business. She could be an entrepreneur. She could be just general public person working 9 to 5 with a family, but she's stuck in something. She has some sort of pain and some sort of turmoil, which we know we could help. Now, what's going to get the attention of this lady if she doesn't know anything about coaching, anything about therapy, doesn't understand the metaphors and things that we use and talk about? What is she going to understand? Well, what is she thinking? Take your coaching hat off, take your therapy hat off, and just imagine this woman right here. What is she thinking? Is she thinking, I wonder how hypnosis can help me? Probably not, because she has no idea what hypnosis is. She's not going online looking up the answer to this. She hasn't connected how hypnosis and coaching and therapy could help her. But she is, however, going online, typing in, I have this problem, how do I solve it? But she's not using the language that we would use to make that connection. Do you think she's saying to herself, I must step into my power and live my best life? Probably not. That's very coachy. What about, I must unblock my unconscious mind for abundance? Well, she doesn't know what the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind or the super mind, whatever you guys want to call it. She doesn't understand this stuff because she is general public. She's not educated this way. She has no idea between the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, or really even how the brain works or even how problems are created in her life. All she can feel is the symptoms of her problem. Next, do you think she's saying to herself, should I hire an NLP practitioner, therapist, or life coach? Absolutely not. She's not researching this stuff. She's not educated this way. And she's not trying to find out who the best therapist is. She's just trying to find an expert to solve her problem. So our marketing message really can't even talk about NLP practitioner, therapist, or life coach. What about this? I wonder why Joe Blogs became a coach. Now, what do I mean about this one? Well, let's take most coaches and therapists marketing as an example. Have you noticed all of their marketing is always about themselves? They're always talking about their story, their journey, why they got certified in this, who their certification was through, who trained them, who their expertise was. They're talking about themselves, their journey. But your general public clients don't care why you became a therapist. They're not looking actively online to find out why you became a coach and the last NLP practitioner certification you went on. So we can't even talk about that. What about I need past life regression? Well, your client has no idea what a past life regression is. They have no idea even what hypnotic language is. They have no idea what timeline therapy is. And they don't care about this stuff. They're not researching this stuff. So including this in your marketing message is pretty pointless as well. What about those selfies and quotes are really inspiring? Again, let's go back to your marketing. If you're trying to market to the general public to try and get clients, but all you're doing is just showing selfies and stealing quotes from everybody else, how are you really going to solidify that you're the expert and have this woman who is in pain realize that they should spend $1,500 and beyond on somebody like yourself if all they can see are selfies and quotes? So your marketing has to be calling out not only the marketing message, but your marketing itself has to back up the marketing message that you have. If your marketing message is, let's say, helping mothers lose weight to feel sexy again or whatever it is, and I'll give you guys some examples very soon, you've got that as your quote, you've got that as your marketing message. You're trying to attract women who have maybe just had a baby who want to feel sexy again, but all your marketing is just about yourself. All your marketing is taking selfies. All your marketing is just your journey and your story. There's going to be a discrepancy there between you being the expert and who you're trying to attract. What about, I wonder how many books Joe Bloggs has read? So again, trying to prove you're an expert just based on how many certifications you've had or how many books you've read or how many courses you've been on is irrelevant because your clients aren't looking for this stuff. Lastly, well, I hope Joe Bloggs, I hope there's not a Joe Bloggs, by the way, watching this because I always call out his name. I hope Joe Bloggs uses timeline therapy on me. This person has no idea what timeline therapy is. So trying to convince people or wow people with the type of therapy we use, the type of strategy we use, our journey, how many certifications we've had, how NLP is different than life coaching and how the unconscious mind works. The only person that this is going to make sense to are the people that you are on course with, are other therapists and coaches who understand this lingo and understand the importance of maybe being an NLP practitioner or a coach, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if this woman that you are trying to attract is general public, is not educated the way we are, has no idea about the mind or personal development, trying to talk about all these things is basically going to fall on deaf ears. So what is she thinking? What is your ideal client thinking? If you imagine your ideal client, when they're up at night, stressed out, anxious, scared, fearful, what are they thinking? Do they care whether you use timeline therapy or Ericksonian language? Do they care about your selfies or your quotes? Do they care about your journey or your story and how it connects to them? Absolutely not. So what do? How do we turn a marketing message that has to get the attention of our clients extremely quickly? Because we know clients are time poor. We know Facebook and social media is just full of noise, and clients only have like a 1 or 2 second attention span before they scroll past your story. So how do we take what can be a marketing message that gets no attention and turn it into something that as soon as your clients read it within the first couple of words, bang, they know it's about them, instantly gets their attention and they want to know more? Well, how do we do this? In order to create that marketing message is very, very simple. Let's use the same analogy again. We've got this lady here. What is she thinking? Well, she's definitely not thinking all the stuff we talked about just before. Remember, your marketing message must speak directly to her or him or them or the executive or the business owner or the mother or the father, whoever your niche is. So if she's not thinking or they're not thinking about the stuff we talked about before, what are they thinking? Well, don't you think it would make more sense to have our marketing message like this? This is what she would be thinking. How do I get out of this abusive relationship? That sums up possibly what this lady is going through. What about if I don't quit smoking, I'm going to die? That's what she's thinking. That's what the general public is thinking. That's what smokers are thinking. What about I want to leave my job, but I'm so scared? That's what general public people are thinking. What about my anxiety is stopping me from going outside? Again, that's what the general public is thinking. That's what anybody who has this fear, this anxiety is thinking. They're not thinking, how will timeline solve my anxiety? Because they don't know this stuff. So talking about how you do it, again, I really want to reiterate that point, is useless. But they are thinking, my anxiety is stopping me from going outside. What about how am I going to pay my bills? That's a real problem that most people probably have. So your marketing message has to call out to these people. What about, I can't believe I'm drinking again? That's definitely what these people are thinking. What about, I want to feel better about myself? That's what general public are thinking. How do I build a better relationship with my kids? Not only the general public is thinking like this, what about the executives or the business owners that spend all their time at work, but their family is basically in a negative place? They're not connecting with their kids. They're losing the love of their life. The wife, the husband, whatever it is, no longer appreciates what they're doing for them because they're always alone. That's what real people are thinking. What about, how do I build a better relationship with my kids? I think I just said that one. What about, I'm so tired. How can I sleep better? Someone with insomnia is definitely thinking about this, but they're not thinking, should I hire a coach or a therapist? They're not wondering how the unconscious mind deals with this. They're not thinking, well, I hope someone uses Ericksonian language instead of timeline therapy. Lastly, why do I feel so nervous about starting my business? So to really summarize this, and I'll give you guys some examples in a moment of some marketing message. Don't copy them verbatim. I just want to show you, put this thing together. Your marketing message that you want to get the attention of your ideal client has to speak to your ideal client. It has to use their language, not yours. Take your therapy and coaching off. Start thinking like a normal person again. Normal, is that the right word? Let's go with normal person again. Start thinking like the person you were before you got certified. That would talk in general public language. Your marketing message, as this lady here is in some sort of pain, frustration, and turmoil, is flicking through Facebook, flicking through YouTube, flicking through Instagram. You have to capture their attention within the first 2 to 3 seconds and have them wanting more. Have them completely understand without a shadow of a doubt, no vagueness, no confusion about what you do. But if your marketing message is full of coaching and therapy language, it's full of vague statements, it's talking about things that the general public do not understand, I don't blame them for flicking right past it, scrolling right past it, and finding someone who is speaking directly to them. That's the type of marketing message that's going to get the attention of the person you're trying to work with, regardless of the niche. So let me show you guys some examples. I'm all over the place today. Let me show you guys some examples of how to put these together. Do not copy these verbatim because I haven't done any research to see if these problems really exist. I can take a pretty good guess, but we know guessing is no good in business. But let me show you a handful of examples that you guys can get some ideas, get some inspiration on, and change your marketing message today. So here's some examples, and I have underlined a few words here, but I've also bolded a few words as well. And I want to show you how you can take what can be a great marketing message and tweak it just a little bit and add some more sizzle to it to really get some attention. So let's go through them. So number one, I've got I help. So I help, not talking about yourself. I am a hypnosis practitioner. You're not talking about you, you're talking about them. I help new mothers. So that's my niche, new mothers. Lose the baby weight. That's their pain. They've got baby weight they want to lose. Without, which I'll explain why I've bolded that in a minute, giving up carbs or exercising more so they can feel sexy again. So what have I done? There's actually quite a lot going on here. So at the start, I'm calling out my niche and I'm calling out their pain. You want to start with the niche first and then the pain. You want to call out to your client. Then the last part of the sentence as best you can is you want to have the outcome. Okay, so niche, pain, outcome. That's the simplest way to structure your marketing message. Niche, pain, problem. Not problem, niche, then pain, or problem, niche, and outcome. You have to have the niche, problem, outcome. Okay, the outcome is going to get them excited. So I've got mothers. That's my niche. That's why I've underlined it. So what is this thing here? Well, one cool way to add a bit of sizzle to the marketing message is to tell your clients that they can achieve this outcome here without giving up the things they love. Here's the one thing we know about clients. Clients will always opt for the easier way out, to go down the road less traveled, to not have to give up the things they adore and they love, but still get the outcome. So one way to differentiate your message, even if I took this out and I said, I help mothers lose the baby weight, I help the mothers lose the baby weight so they can feel sexy again. That's an okay marketing message. But to add some sizzle, imagine a new mother who wants to lose weight, but still doesn't want to give up the carbs, still likes chocolate, still likes cake, doesn't want to give up those things. They really enjoy it. And they don't want to do more exercising. You're going to intrigue them by saying, we can get to the outcome and you do not have to give up the things you love or exercise more. That's how you'll differentiate yourself from somebody who doesn't include those things. So I call this a without statement. Okay. So you can add this to any niche. It's sort of like, I help lawyers quit smoking without cravings. I help students with anxiety to feel confident. I'm just going off the top of my head, feel confident again without giving up their social life. And that's a really random example, but you sort of see where I'm going here. You want to be able to differentiate your market message again, okay? And having a without statement is a nice way to do that. So find out, what does your market really adore? What don't they want to give up? No matter how much we know it would be better for them if they did, it's a lot easier to get a client into your service or your product or your program, whatever it is, if you can do it without giving up something they love. Next example, okay? So the same sort of process. I help executives and CEOs, that could be the clients I work with. So I'm calling out the people first, the niche, decrease their stress. Stress is the problem, to become more productive and earn more money. So the outcome, they want to be more productive and earn more money. But what I've got here at the end is what I call a time frame. Okay, and you can put the without statement and the time frame together. It's a really nice way to do it. So there's something that human beings love. They like to be able to analyze the result they're going to get with some sort of time. So if you know that you can get them to the result they desire within 28 days, 21 days, 7 days, into hours, whatever it is. So I used to help lawyers quit smoking in about 45 minutes. That 45 minutes, that time frame at the end, I know that a shadow of a doubt got the attention of a lot of my ideal clients. Why? Because every other therapist and coach in my area, or that was sort of well known for working with stop smoking clients, was doing it in 2 hours, 2 sessions, 1 week, 2 weeks. And here I am narrowing it down to 45 minutes. Okay, that's just an example that I use because I was able to do that. You have to be able to back this up, guys. You can't just say it and not be able to do it. So I help executives and CEOs decrease their stress rather to become more productive and earn more money in 28 days. Okay, so that nice little time frame on the end. Let me give you another example. I help lawyers quit smoking on their lunch break. That's what I used to say, without experiencing cravings. And I've got this MOS. So MOS is just a fancy word that I coined, and we teach all of our 100K coaching program students this: minimum optimum service. How can you create the best transformation for your clients in the least amount of time? So it's almost like another version of the time frame. But I know I've got here in the lunch break. So again, that spoke to the lawyers, because the lawyers kept calling me and saying, Scott, I only have my lunch break available. So I had to change everything I did, trim the fat off my session, MOS, minimum optimum service, everything I was doing to try and fit their transformation in the lunch break. Why? Because that's what they wanted. So that's just a more advanced version of in 28 days. So that my time frame is just in here. Okay. Now this could have been better. Looking at it now, I could have had a better outcome without experiencing craving, so they have more energy for their children. That would have been a better end to this, but this was just super, super simple. What I want to point out so far before I get to the last one, do you see how the things I'm not mentioning hypnosis. I'm not mentioning coaching. I'm not mentioning me. I'm not mentioning my experience. I'm not mentioning my journey. I'm just telling people what they want, because these are the people I'm trying to attract. I'm not trying to attract more therapists and coaches. I'm not trying to have my ego stroked and say, I've got more certifications than you. No, because lawyers didn't care about this. General public, these mothers, these executives, the CEOs, these women here don't care about that stuff. Okay, remember that image I showed you before. What is she thinking? And this is what my lawyers were thinking. Lastly, here's another example. I help women, so that's the niche again, move on from toxic relationships. That's the problem. Toxic relationships they can't move on from, and find the partner of their dreams with my 4-week program. Okay. So it's okay if it fits. So say you've got some sort of program. You could even say like my 4-week find the love of your life program. That's okay to have a bit of intellectual property there as well. But this would be the last version of this statement that I would use. I prefer to use the without statement or have some sort of time frame, but you could talk about here. But what I don't think is necessary is to add hypnosis, RTT, NLP, anything like that, because clients aren't looking for these things. And all you're doing by having those words in your statement is you're basically helping the business of other people that teach NLP, RTT, coaching. You're basically building their business for them. Because let's say, for example, this woman sees my statement, if this was the niche I was working with, and at the end, I help women move on from toxic relationship, find the partner of their dreams using NLP. And they go, I wonder what NLP is. They go online looking for NLP. They see all these other NLP practitioners. They get my price, which is way more expensive than everybody else. They go to another practitioner, get another price and another price and another price. And all of a sudden, I basically force them to go looking for a cheaper price. All of a sudden, I've got a $2,500 solution. They're now going to an NLP practitioner that's charging $50 a session. Or worst off, this person finds out about NLP, loves NLP, and then goes to become an NLP practitioner themselves. Now you've lost another client. So I don't think mentioning these things, the only time I really mention these things, if my clients would actually ask. But if your clients go through your marketing and maybe look at your website, they're going to see what you do. But I never bring it up as a conversation starter. I never bring it up as this is how we're going to get this. We're going to use NLP and coaching and hypnosis, none of that stuff. So look at the difference, guys. Let me go back to the first slide. Look at the difference. I wonder how hypnosis can help me. I must step into my power and live my best life. I must unblock my unconscious mind for abundance. Should I hire an NLP practitioner, therapist, or coach? Compared to this, okay? I help new mothers lose the baby weight without giving up carbs or exercising more so they can feel sexy again. Now, if your general public have no idea about all the stuff we're talking about, coaching and therapy, this is going to get their attention. So when it comes to your marketing message, what is she thinking? What is he thinking? What are lawyers thinking? What are executives thinking? Now, again, I've mentioned this many times in videos. You don't just want to guess this stuff. You want to go speak to these people and get their language. And I can guarantee almost 100% the people you speak to will never ask you about NLP, coaching, hypnotherapy, because they don't understand this stuff. If you are, however, working with coaches, working with therapists, they are your clients. Talk like a therapist or a coach because that'll get their attention because they speak like you. But probably 99% of the people watching this video right here are working with general public, what we call general public, speak like a normal person, guys. Take the therapy and coaching hat, and I guarantee these small changes to your marketing message will pay dividends immediately. We've literally had students who have come into the program, the way we teach this, especially in this way, who changed their marketing message from being vague to coachy to therapeutic, to changing their message, talking exactly like their clients are, and just having a banner on Facebook or Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube, and all of a sudden they're starting to get inquiries. Why? Because people are scrolling through Facebook, they happen to come on your page, instantly see what you do. There's no vagueness, there's no confusion, and now you have your clients thinking, I need this. So guys, hopefully that makes sense. That's how we really create a killer marketing message that will actually start making you money as a therapist or a coach in your business. Make these changes. Don't overthink it. Just get it done. If you have any questions like normal, post in the comment box below or the comments below this video. Ask any questions you have or reach out to me on Facebook, and always happy to answer those questions. But I think I've talked enough about this. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye for now.